Hello and welcome to Face Check. You're joining me for the Deck List of the Week game. This is actually the second deck this week. I've missed one. I'll go back and do that later. But fancied having a little bit of a go with this one. So this is a Palana Foods deck, the new ID from Business First. Called Everlasting Jobstopper, to do with wizard career fair looking for job type decks, and obviously made it all the way up to deck of the week on Card Game DB. However, looking through it, and I've not tried it yet, it doesn't seem unbeatable. I'm sure it's very good. Now the ID itself is generally very good, coupled with the Palana Agroplex. When your turn begins, each player draws one card. You can force the runner to draw, which gets you a money on your turn, and then they often draw on their turn, or the wild side combos that they're forced to draw on their turn. Reading through the explanation, the way it's supposed to win is through fast advance. However, any fast advance deck that only runs one Cyberdex, no matter if you can shuffle it back or not, does not seem like a very good plan. Shaper can fairly consistently spam Clot. Anarch can fairly consistently spam Clot. Getting those through is quite tricky. However, there are sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 agendas you can never advance, and when you're throwing out so many assets, hopefully they won't check everything. Blacklists is obviously the plan to get around that, or blacklist and Cyberdex, but you do have the 2 Caprices to keep them out of the scoring remote, and your ice is fairly decent as well. The other assets are relatively standard. Mumbo Tempo for the free resis, although you don't really need, Palana's got a lot of money. I'm not sure you necessarily need these, but again, for a horizontal type deck, pretty good. Museum of History, also very good, allowing you to shuffle back those bits that you need, but there's no protection for the assets. There's no hostile takeovers, and not much else. Psychic Field there as a pretty good trap to, or ambush, I should say, to mask your never advance agendas, and Turtlebacks again for more money. Just there's money there. I imagine this deck will be quite rich. How well it deals with a sort of significant R&D dig, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it goes. So I've added the game, I've added the deck to Junteki.net. Let's see if I can get somebody to come and play me. So go big, zoom in, and then let's choose the deck. So as I said, I've not actually played it yet. I anticipate the deck will be quite rich. I anticipate that the fast advance might not pay off as well as the write-up says, but we'll see how it goes, and hopefully Godot to Godfrey will either show some of the weaknesses or show us how the deck works. So start the game. I'll zoom in one more, but I imagine I'm going to have to zoom out. I'm going to mulligan this just because it's got 2 agendas, or 2 5/3 agendas in opening hand. Now I'm going to play this like I do my biotech deck. So let me money, then let me throw you out, and I will raise you, and then let me throw out you into another remote. Psychic Field doesn't do anything until it's installed, so you might as well make the runner, or put the runner to a choice. And if it's there for a while, and that's the only thing you don't raise, at some point they might go have a look. So let's find out. Now Sunny, going to be a big setup deck, so probably have a little bit of time. Already getting money for Palana Foods. So that's maybe handy for me. So I'm gonna go horizontal. So install new remote. Okay, so let's see what we can do. I'm already in range for being able to fast advance something, but of course I do have to be aware of the clot. Only costs 4 credits to go get the clot, so let's wait and see how much money he keeps. So Jack Sinclair gives him a free run. This may be a trash. Let's find out. If it is a trash, it will take him below the 4 credits he needs to do anything. That's fine. I'll just shuffle that back with Museum of History, and then I'll be like, dope. So he's gone back up to the 4 money. So, oh wait, I should have used that first. And then mandatorily draw. So let me draw. New remote and new remote. Team sponsorship also going to help bringing things back. So here's the thing, right? You're not allowed to raise cards between start of turn and mandatory draw. Well, yes you are, right? 1.1 of the thing is a res and paidability window, and then you've got your start of turn triggers. But yes, for the purposes of playing the game, I understand why that might be tricky. So, again, by drawing a card, he's just feeding me money. So this deck is quite rich. I've not raised too much yet, but I don't seem to be in a lot of danger. Opus is a problem. He can money up and run and trash things without anything that will hurt him for it. So let's use this. Make each player draw a card. Then let's shuffle hedge fund back in. Okay, and then mandatorily draw. So we've got ourselves a Caprice. Let's draw up once more, and then let's throw Lotus Field over there, and let's put a data pike on HQ. Okay, let's just we'll stop random accesses. You don't want to be giving up points that you don't have to. And with his free run, whether he goes to check the Sansan or whether he goes to check the psychic field or nothing, you know, you may make a run, doesn't have to make a run. And now I'm feeding him cards to get whatever he needs. You can just click for money and take the cards as I give them to him. Now what I really need is 3 of these. You see my hand's quite empty here. With these asset spam decks, you always want plenty of assets to install, and the Agroplex is pretty good at that. You know, you can get 4 draws in a turn, 3 from the Agroplexes and 1 for your mandatory draw, and then you can install. But at some point you will be giving up the you'll be discarding cards. So let's see if he uses his run. Or does anything. Now it does seem like Jinteki.net's a little slow this evening. Not this slow, but a little slow. 74 games, 73 games, should be able to handle that without too much difficulty. You know, 90, 100 games should be the point where it gets difficult. Don't know if anything's still going on. I'll head over to the chat. If he has dropped out, maybe he's left a message. Nope. So back to plate. And then I'll give him a nudge. I mean, that went through pretty quick. If there was a lag, then I understand. Of course, you could have went to answer the door, so it might knock something over. Anything could have happened. or he's thinking. Does he take the free run? Obviously what I really want him to do here is run on the psychic field, hit that, and then lose all these cards. Moneying up, probably going to go trash something. Unless he's got a card in hand. A dirty laundry into something would be a good way of getting rid of some assets. Also got 6 cards, probably wants to play one of them, not put them to waste if he can. Unless you got a double of Opus or Jack Sinclair, in which case you can just bin that. So this is reasonable. You can spend the click to look at the top card before making a run. I'll let him know when agendas are there. So here's hoping I can top deck an agenda. So let's make everybody draw a card and then mandatory draw. And then let me new remote. New remote. And then I might as well put a gear check on server 3 and end my turn there. So let's zoom out down to 110%. We'll very quickly get down to about 75% probably, and the cards will be far too small to see. So Jinteki's layout for dealing with horizontal decks isn't perfect. There's probably a better way of doing it, considering that a lot of them are multiples. So when I res the Palana Agroplex, for example, I could sit above it. It could be in its own server still, say server 9 on it, server 6, and you could actually stack them 3 deep. For any uniced, yeah, you can go trash that. I'm not terribly unhappy with that. Now just money back up and more link, and so he's playing dice and mem chips, would suggest it is perhaps a what's what I'm after. He's probably got Nexus, security Nexus to get past dice. So I'll have to be aware of that. So let me res you and then take one to res you. And then we can start the turn. So let me draw one and draw one, and then take my mandatory draw. So now let me new remote, and do I think he can get enough money to get in? I'm going to put this in server 3 for the time being anyway, and that'll do. So I'm on 15 credits. That's you know, everything's fairly cheap. If he makes me res everything, then I might be in trouble, but I do have Mamba Tempo as well to alleviate some of the costs. And I can make a free run, but it's no money, so it doesn't really serve any purpose to do so other than see what the cards are, and that could be a risk. I'm also giving them extra cards to actually have to do something with. So here he's managed to get the cards down. So now let me take you, res you, start turn, fire you, and then fire you, and take a mandatory draw. So I'm now considering if I put you into server 3, if I put you over server, so this busts code gates. I'm I really want this somewhere where an AI might be involved, but let's put it on server 3 anyway, just to prevent any shenanigans. And then let me advance you. So, if I can score this, I'll be able to, well, I don't know, I'll probably shuffle Museum of History back by this point, but it doesn't really matter. And I can do it without resing the Sansan, which is fine by me. I got 14 credits plus the 2 on Mumba Temple. If he runs to trash Mumba Temple, I'll res Caprice using the credits. No point letting them go to waste. But it'll be hard pressed to trash stuff, get enough money, get cards out of his hand, and still be a real threat. So he's moneying up. Maybe install something from hand. I doubt he's going to make a run. So I'm going to res Caprice anyway while it's the 2 credits are sitting there. Not going to do anything else with them, so that's okay. Just res Caprice. I don't think it's too much of a surprise. Could be running drive-bys or something along those lines, so might as well. Now, is this May? When your turn begins, you may shuffle 1 card. I'm not going to bother because I'm going to score this, and I might as well install this. Let's see what he does with that extra card in his hand. I could have res Caprice by pressing the action before turn ends button and then do it before my turn starts, but doesn't make any difference in this case. At least I don't think it makes any difference in this case. So let's start turn. Let's draw. Then let me... No, I'm not going to bother shuffling. So I will advance. Unable to... Oh, mandatory draw as well. There we go. So let me instead advance. Then I will score you, triggering team sponsorship. So install you to a new remote, and you can install from hand as well. So install a card from, I'm going to install this other psychic field in a new remote. What I should have done was use it to install that other card, but because I'm not clever that way, the other agenda I should say, but I'm not clever, so I'll just install a few more spammy remotes. If I had turtlebacks down, that would have been worth it, but since I don't, that was silly. Okay, so let's go for the Future Perfect next turn. Install advance. Now the agroplexes are not what's the word, optional. They are compulsory, so I'll have to draw up anyway. That does get me 1 extra money. Now he's not been drawing on his turn, which is not too surprising as I'm giving him 2 cards a turn. Ah, security chip. Very interesting. I mean, it doesn't matter too much. A lot of my ice is quite low strength. But I will make him fetch both. Well, actually, I might only make him fetch the barrier breaker, really. So let me do a little bit of math. I mean, yeah, I'm actually quite light on credits. So there you go. He's got a barrier breaker. But it cost him 4 to get through a backhoe. So he's not going to do that too often, even with an opus out. Sunny's breakers are very, very expensive. So let me just take one. I'll res you while we're here. So now let's draw a card, and then take my mandatory draw. So, do I just go for it is the question. I think the answer is yes. Rushing here would appear to be the correct way to go about things. So I'm actually going to put Kumainu in the bin, and that will let me bring it back with team sponsorship. So let's see if he makes a mad dash on here. And then I'll install Kumainu, I'll install Flotic Entanglement. Yeah, I'm not going to shuffle them away with the museums. Now Sunny's main drawback is how long it takes her to get set up. Does start with 2 link though, so all our programs are cloud breakers. Very good for her. But strength 1s and generally 2 credits to break. 2 credits to pump, 2 credits to break. They don't work so well against lower strength ice, or not very efficient against lower strength ice. Anyway, deck's doing okay. I've actually not fast advanced anything yet, which I was led to believe is the crux of the deck. So Jack Sinclair making a run. If he wants to trash that, that's fine, I guess. I mean, it's 5 credits. It's one of the. It's a very good res to trash ratio. That does beg a question about what to do with the team sponsorships if I get the trigger off. The main reason, I guess, the 1-5 ratio is there is because it actually benefits the runner as well. If you draw through your deck, it's generally better for the runner. Corp mill decks are almost the thing, I guess. You've got the agroplexes, you've got whatever that face up 3-1 agenda is out of Wayland. Is he going to make a try at the agenda? I would suggest that he should. I mean, 1 in 3 chance. Install a multi-threader. And then, no, so just giving that one up as well. So let's start the turn. Let's fire you. And then let's have a mandatory draw. Okay, so now let's advance. Score you. Then let's trigger. Install a card from Archives or HQ. So let's install you on server 3. It's ignoring all costs. And then let's trigger you. Install a card from Archives or HQ. So let's install you in server 3. And let's close that, and we will bin this Bacco. So he's down to like no money. I mean, I think he's lost, to be honest. Yeah, too much of a setup. Even me feeding him cards every turn. My turn is now ended. That's fine. Yeah, even me feeding him cards every turn has not made him fast enough. He's had the Opus as well, so he's had money, he's had cards. It's just sometimes hard to know what you want to do with Sunny. She has such a big setup to get going. and our breakers are very expensive. Now multi-threader does help with that quite a bit, but how many? That's only one influence, so that's fine. Three multi-threaders imported's pretty good deal for Sunny, especially as her breakers don't take up any MU. But yeah, I don't think he's going to have enough credits to get through here. If I do 1, 2, 3, so that's 6, I'd be on 7, 8. Well, slow me down a turn. I'm very much missing some, what's the word? Any kind of drip economy. I would be getting it if he was drawing cards, but since he's not, then I'm not getting any money. Only letting him draw 2 or 3 on his turn, or on my turn. So he's given up there, obviously. Just taking money. And then we will win this game. GG. Sure, sort it out. Sometimes I wish I could type. Yep, absolutely. Just put 2 credits back and make the run. Now I guess he has to make the run. Let me... I'm going to res Kamainu. Just because he's got no way of dealing with it, and it will do him like 6 net damage. So that's a decoder and that's a fractor, so he doesn't have any killers. And then do I risk it there is the question. Oh, you've done something equally terrible. Well, okay, fine. Make each player draw a card. Mandatory draw. Makes no odds. 2, 3. GG. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of pressure on that deck there. Somebody like Wizard might be more interesting, being able to trash the assets, although they are relatively expensive. Or maybe somebody with just a quicker setup. Anarch there can probably burn through that server quite quickly. If there was a Faust deck, I'd be giving them the ammunition to get in once or twice. Only has to win the Psy games. The Wildside engine would have crept up, made me got a bit more money, but whether or not that would be enough. So I mean, I guess that's how this deck is supposed to work. But saying that fast advance is the way forward for it, I'm not sure. Maybe at the last, I don't know. I mean, I could have raised it. I could actually probably score out even more points from here, but very little point. Alright, well that is the deck of the week. You can try it yourself. You want 1 scoring remote, asset spams, keep recycling them, and try and get a bit more money. I think with the number of agendas in here, let's just have a look. So there's only 10 agendas, so you shouldn't be too flooded. The Future Perfects do a lot of work there. Only 2 medical breakthroughs. Now medical breakthrough obviously does its best when you've got a third. Whether you want to swap a brain trust for a medical breakthrough, I don't know. I think the intention was to be able to fast advance as many as possible. So any 3 anythings are better. Well, you got 4 3-2s and 1 3-1, and then if they steal a medical breakthrough, then you know that's another 3-2 as well. Of course, if they'd stolen 1, then you could have another 2 3-2s in there. Yeah, not a bad deck. I'm not sure it's going to be the build that everybody's going to want for Palana or Palana. But that is that. So I'm going to go and find that other deck of the week, and I will record that as well. But until, well, actually, remind people, you know, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you want to see anything. If you think I did anything particularly wrong, if you think there's a better way of playing that deck, let me know. But until next time, this is Facecheck jacking out.